Uh-oh, don't look now. There still might be problems at Suzuki. Hey, everybody, Walty Wanderers, buckle up, strap in. We got a hard-hitting pull, no punches, no sugarcoating it, no rainbows or sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. We got a good one to unpackage today. Welcome to the show. I hope everybody's doing great. So, Suzuki, welcome back to the swimming pool. We're going to jump back on the Moto merry-go-round, around and around, as we examine the good, the bad, and maybe even a little bit of the ugly.
No, Walty, not the ugly. Only report on rainbows and sunshine.
No. Somebody's got to read between the lines and look between the ruts. We got some ruts, don't we? Suzuki, welcome to the swimming pool. KTM, welcome to the swimming pool. I'm sure Suzuki was secretly stoked about the KTM debacle because they're like, man, let's take some of the pressure off of us. Unfortunately, Suzuki's got some issues, friends. I don't shoot the messenger. I'm just calling it like I see it, man. And the reality is this. What I'm seeing is not looking good for a lot of these teams. I mean, we're entering into recessionary, inflationary times, and the sales are down. And that's where KTM dropped the ball. They based their projected sales on euphoric stimulus era sales volume that they thought was just going to keep going. I mean, come on, dudes. Like, that was a stimulated economy. We were locked up with extra money. Of course we're going to buy bikes. What do you think happened when you reopened and inflation took over? It's now, the sales are down on everything in America. Homes, cars, everything. The prices are still elevated, but eventually there's a good chance these markets are going to crash and take a lot of companies into their vortex. It's the perfect storm. So unfortunately, Suzuki is already in trouble prior to the stimulus era. But then when Kenny melted the internet and he garnished enough attention that somebody stepped up and paid him the price tag to kickstart that Suzuki all the way to the bank, which is in fact what he did. But it hasn't been all rainbows and sunshine. Now, Kenny has conceded to the fact that he's no longer a championship threat. Now, if he finds himself in a championship fight, of course, he's probably going to have some added motivation. But at this point, he's got right off into the sunset money, and he's already had the big injury, and I'm not sure he's interested. He sees how fast these guys are going up front now, and he's still a front runner and a polarizing figure of the sport. He's planning now, how much longer can I juice the industry and sponsors and keep my finishes high enough to garnish the paycheck I believe would keep me out on the track. And eventually we will see him do like everybody else, the abbreviated season. It's coming because they're going to go where the money's at. And at some point, it won't become about the money anymore. It's just going to become about, wanting to continue to do only thing you know how to do, because you can't be stuck at home just counting your money, watching your investment, portfolios all day. You're going to want to do something. They either want to be part of the sport or stay in the sport. So, unfortunately, Kickstart Kenny, I heard that there was reports that he was promised they would have an electric start for him. Signed here on the dotted line, Kenny, we're going to renew your contract, and by the way, we will get you that electric start. Now, there could have even been that in Kenny's contract, in deliverables. Part of the deliverables were the motorcycle to have electric start equipment at the opener, and it didn't happen. So what's he going to do? Not ride? Of course not. Of course he's going to ride. And at this point, he's already created Kickstart Kenny merchandise, right? And who do you think it was the first YouTube channel to call him Kickstart Kenny? It was right here, Wealthy Wanderers. And they did that. Thank you. You're welcome, Kenny. And you've created merch. And so at this point, I just say, keep the Kickstart. I thought it was cool last year when you won the race and took the Kickstart up to the podium and you ran with the Kickstart Kenny nickname. That was the right thing to do. So what are we going to call you? Electric Start Kenny? Maybe. I'm sure we'll come up with a new name for you. Might have just called it. When eventually you get Electric Start, you will no longer be Kickstart Kenny, and all that merch that you sold or are trying to sell will no longer be relevant. So you may as well just keep the Kickstart, in my opinion. But I don't think he wants it. I don't think he wants it because who wants to kickstart their bike? Now, the bigger challenge is this, friends. It's getting deep. The only reason, Suzuki was in trouble. They've been relegated to Twisted Tea, which was a privateer effort. They didn't have any heavy hitters. Then they got Kickstart. And they were already a Suzuki program in place, so it was the natural progression. It was, let's just house this guy. And that's what they did. But they have no real, they do not look factory over at Twisted. And if it wasn't for Kenny, there would be no fanfare over there. As much as Chiz and Colt Nichols is having a horrible time trying to make any bike work, much less a Suzuki, that would be a disaster. But to add insult to injury, what happened? And we asked it. If you're new, get subscribed and jump over to the community page and participate in the polling. Bring up just open face and some tear-offs, some work boots and gardening gloves if you want. The roost is going to fly, so make sure you come with something. We asked it, how many Suzukis were in the 250 main at Anaheim 1? In fact, I'm not even sure how many Suzukis were in the night show in the lights class. But I remember the main, and I'm like, And we heard, like, Bar X was basically Suzuki's 250 effort. Well, they jumped ship, and they're now running Yamahas. It's gnarly right now. It is gnarly for Suzuki, and Kenny doesn't look happy. And if Kenny's not happy, nobody's happy, my guess, over at that camp. I believe he's rolling in now with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, not all hugs and handshakes and kisses and glad handing the higher ups. I think he's like, where's my electric start, bro? He didn't deliver. Oh, we're working on Kenny. They've got a little delay. There's some red tape in the end. I don't know. Something's going on potentially. But we asked it on the community page. How many Suzukis lined up at the opener in the main at A1? Let's jump over, take a look at those results, maybe even take a lap around the comments. Then we'll meet back here and wrap it up. Let's get started. All right, buckle up and strap in when asked on the Walter Wanderers community page of the YouTube channel. How many Suzukis were in the 250 main at Anaheim 1? 66% of you said 0. 0 were at the track, and you guys were, in fact, right. Not one Suzuki made the main at Anaheim 1. Let's jump back to the studio and wrap this one up. All right, friends, there you go. So, 0 Suzukis in the lights program. This is really getting sketch, dudes. I mean, this is sketch. I mean, the only other company out there which is hanging on by a thread as well to keep their effort on this track, is Beta. Now, Beta is a new company on a skeleton crew, right? This is one of the longest standing brands, the 4 Japanese major brands that dominated the sport for so many years. Suzuki. Without a bike in the lights main, that hurts. I have to imagine if I'm any part of Suzuki, at any level, it's gonna hurt. That is a bad look for Suzuki. And if they lose kickstart, which I believe he is not stoked about not having an electric start yet, and he might even use that as an excuse to rug pull Suzuki and say, you guys promised me this, you didn't deliver, I'm out, and by the way, you breached the contract, not me. This could happen. We don't know. We do not know the details. All we know is Kickstart Kenny's out there still trying to carry the flag for Suzuki, and he's done a phenomenal job. He came out and won his heat, and he hit the podium at A1. Suzuki's pumped. They needed that. And with the KTM now really garnishing all this attention about them basically being at fold-up risk or potentially something not pleasing happening over there in their off-road motocross, supercross program, Suzuki's got to be breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief because they're not the ones basically under the microscope right now. But the facts are this, Suzuki, you need to put a lights bike out there. And that's why we've talked about this before. When you got Triumph coming in, you got Ducati coming in, you got Beta coming in, you got Gas, you got Husky. I mean, you got a lot of other brands in the 4 Japanese ones. It's saturated. It's going to become harder and harder, even with top-of-the-line factory equipment and well-paid riders to make these mains. We're actually ushering out a lot of the staples of the industry and ushering in new, which I believe because of this whole noise reduction thing they're now imposing on bikes again, which is stupid. They need to crank it up, not tone it down. It's at a stadium and pyrotechnics. The opening ceremonies are louder than the gate drops for these events. I don't know why they're quieting these bikes down. They probably want to usher in and get you on that electric bike. Some suit right now is in a think tank.
How can we make it still exciting and lose the combustion engine, but still have sound that will be engaging for the fans?
Somebody that doesn't ride, some scientist is figuring out how to have you on an electric bike soon. Soon. It would appear. It would appear. But I think this is Gladiator Games blood sports stuff. So, I mean, you put them on electric bikes, people are still going to ragdoll and get hurt. I mean, it's just dangerous. So why even go there It's just this new post-crisis climate, two sides of the aisle, division, going on. And there's somebody pushing for this stuff because it's the future. Some kid who found himself in a position of power now deciding which direction your sport's going. And that's why this channel is so very important. And final thoughts that come to you as a friend, as a content creator, as a moto guy that wants to see you not only win on the track, off the track. Understand the waters you're swimming in now. Shark-infested Suzuki, welcome to the swimming pool. Dude, you got to get some bikes on the 250s out there in these mains. I hope when you go east, you can make it happen. I hope when you make even these rounds coming up in the west. I'm not even sure. I got to take a look and see if you guys even got anybody bringing a 250 to these races right now. My guess is you might not. You're hanging on, I believe, by a thread, and Kickstart Kenny is in fact potentially calling the shots. And if he's not happy, no one's happy. And that's why Walty will be here to blow the lid off it every step of the way. Because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to follow me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you enjoyed this video, you're going to love the next video, and there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Don't go over the bars. God bless, and I'll see you on the next video.